with me being a gay boy in that environment, like, they adapted, and the dynamic between me and some of the boys was given very much like, you treating me like I'm the girl of the school. Like, no shade. Like, you treating me like...
She's not just my friend, okay? She's my best friend. She a real bad bitch, got her own money. She don't need no nigga on the dance floor. She had 2, 3 joints and she's twerking. She go it out and come back in. That's my best friend. She a real bad bitch, got her... Carry on.
Gotta put on my customized cardigan. Welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Kyle Lewinsky here. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications too, and if you're a return subscriber or if you're new, make sure you like this video, comment on this video, and share this video with a friend. So as you can tell by the title, which I don't even know what it's gonna be, today we will be piggybacking off of my last video, which was a short film I had to do for final in school about my experience as a gay boy in an all-male black public school. I went to Eagle Academy for Young Men of Southeast Queens, as you can tell by the cardigan with my name right here. I went there from 6th to 12th. Some may call me a vet in those streets. Very, very complex experience. We're just gonna get into more depth about my experience because that video, my professor only gave me up to 5 minutes and I wanted it to be kind of like funny and comedic, and so I couldn't really talk about the more important things that I think people should know about that school or about all boys schools in general. I just was, trying to be funny. So without further ado, I won't hold you guys any longer. Let's hop right into the video. Let's start at the very beginning. I know in my last video, I only touched on high school, but like I said in the beginning of this video, I was there from 6th grade to 12th. My middle school experience, I was in the closet, but I always had a very flamboyant, very, I would say assertive personality, but like, it was like assertive in the gayest way possible. You know what I mean? Like, I was one of those kids. I was definitely like the gay boy in middle school, but I think because I was so like, nobody really said anything in terms of like my grade. Like, I never really had problems with people in my grade. If I did, I would literally just fight them. Because the school goes from 6th to 12th grade, in middle school I did experience bullies, and my bullies were like high schoolers. Like, I'm talking about 10th, 11th, 12th graders when I was in 7th and 8th grade. And not like nothing too major, I guess. Slick comments in hallways. Very petty things, but at the time, it did affect me. Now, I was not the only gay boy in school. Even prior to the friend group I had in high school, this video is so much easier if you just go watch my last video. There were always gay boys in the school, or like boys that were feminine. Prior to my group forming, I feel like all the other more feminine boys kind of were more reserved. Like, I definitely think that when I got to this school, gay boys became more like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't no like hiding it. Like, it was like, we here, you see us, we doing splits in the gym, we doing toe touches in the gym, death dropping in the gym. Like, it was very much like, we here and we're queer. I think a lot of gay boys are intimidated by an all boy anything. I could see why, like, obviously. The weird thing about all boys, not the weird thing, I guess it's like a cool thing, I guess. Like, yes, there were homophobic boys, there were bullies, but the environment of the all boys school did make it a brotherhood, in the sense of like, I was gay, but in middle school, I was the gay boy in a group full of straight boys. Like, it was just like, Kyle was Kyle, and that's that. Like, it's all boys. You kind of accept everybody for their personality. There's cliques and stuff like that, but it's like, it's all boys. It's like one big boys club. So like, you know what I mean? As far as like friendships and making friends, I think this is another thing too. Like, my experience is different in terms of like making friends and my dynamic with the other boys, because I'm naturally a shy person and a reserved person, on top of the fact that I'm gay. So it's like, if it's up to me, like if it's totally left in my hands, I won't have any friends, because I won't speak to you. Like, I won't speak to anybody. In middle school I had mad friends, honestly. Like, But I guess that's kind of how middle school is. In high school, it was kind of like we cool, like we friends. Like I could text you if I wanted to, we could laugh, we could kiki and all of that. But I just know where our friendship stands in comparison to like their friendship with the other boys. You know what I mean? Because my experience in the school was so complex, I feel like I learned so much from it. So weird, because I would really advise gay boys to go to all boys school. Literally, like, probably setting them up for not failure, but like some trying times. But I feel like it really did build my character. Like even that dynamic of like being in an old boys school, it is one brotherhood and it is one big boys club, and you know, in this instance we were all black men, but like no shade, no tea. I think a lot of other gay boys in the school were like kind of blind to the divide between like the straight boys and the gay boys, but I was never blind to that. I think that was probably my biggest thing in that school of like I never felt like I never felt like it was like we was all in this, it was all brothers, da da da. Like it was always much like, yeah, we all men, we all black, but do you know what I mean? Like I was always very aware of that. But I think that definitely built my character and it made me stand in my truth. People in that school definitely did embrace me, but I think a lot of people in that environment embraced me because I was me. Because I was aware of the fact that like I'm not like the other boys. Like I wasn't trying to be like them. I was Kyle and I remained Kyle all 12 years? 6 through 12? That's 12 years. That's 6 years, Kyle. Shit, you need to go back. A lot of my masculine traits and my masculinity definitely comes from that school. Like a lot of times gay males don't get to exist in male spaces. It's not like they were teaching us how to be masculine in the slightest. No shade, no tea, but we'll get to that. Like being a gay boy in an all male school, you have to be tougher than in the school. You have to have your own sense of self and your own sense of like you with the shits. Like what's good? Being gay, right? Being a gay boy and not really ever being in male spaces, you only understand like the perception of masculinity or like men, whatever, like because you never really get to be around them. You never really get to like learn them and study them. And I feel like being a gay boy in an all male school, I just learned like there is nothing to be scared of. I always say like I understand the nuances of black men because I went to an all black men school, and it's just like I befriended them, I fought them, I was in class with them. Like I just learned so much, and in that school I also learned like there's like nuances of masculinity, and it's not this idea of like straight men versus gay guys, because like there was I was cool with in my school that didn't like the other kids, the other boys in the school. It just opened my eyes and it taught me so much. And I feel like being a gay guy, like we understand women, we understand the girls down, we be in all the female spaces, but like the true disconnect with gay men and this world is men and existing in male spaces. And I just feel like I was very fortunate to like experience that at such a young age. Okay, next. I feel like in some ways all boys schools incentivize to be homophobic, but also I kind of feel like all boys schools incentivize to be gayer. Some guys in that school put on a show, and because it was all male, they felt like they had to like walk around with this like image or like whatever. But some of them, I feel like with me being a gay boy in that environment, like they adapted, and the dynamic between me and some of the boys was given very much like, you treating me like I'm the girl of the school, like no shade, like you treating me like as far as like DL guys, I know that's what the girls want to talk about, the girls want to know. I don't think I would say that there were more DLs in an all-boys school than other schools. I feel like the amount of boys that were like having sex with other boys in my school, I don't think it was like a huge number. Now the amount of niggas I think were actually gay, now that's a whole nother story. We kind of attach this like stereotype to all boys schools that like everybody's gay, and it wasn't really that case. Niggas gonna be niggas. I feel like that's all I can say. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, yeah. As far as staff and teachers, in my school, I think it was predominantly black women teachers. Like when like, you're a gay boy in an all-boys school, and a lot of the staff and teachers are women, it creates that interesting dynamic for me. And I definitely think that like, in a lot of ways, I had favoritism. I got favoritism, and I got favored because of that. With it being an all-boys school, there were men staff members and men teachers in the school. Another thing that's interesting, because you definitely had the old school conservative teachers that were just like, I don't want to say they were homophobic, but you could definitely tell their stance on LGBTQ people. But there were also other staff members in the school that were like super cool, and like it was like, Kyle's gay, that's just it. Like there's a million other straight boys in the school. Every boy in the school, there's not only one type of way for a guy to be a guy or a man to be a man. So they accepted me for who I am, and it was really cool. Like all boys schools are interesting. The things that occur in them are interesting, but like you can't really paint them with one brush, because it's not really like that. Like I feel like if anything, it being all boys makes it even way more complex and way more confusing to kind of like break down. Like I think my only critique of the school, I definitely learned about masculinity, and I had to tap into my masculinity being in that school, but that's because I was gay in that school. Like I don't really feel like the school environment itself encouraged masculinity. Like I feel like a lot of the time the bar was lowered. Okay. I kind of wish that like the school did focus on being competitive and being and encouraging masculine traits. You know what I mean? Like instilling masculine traits in the students that went there, because at times it felt like a boys club. Emphasis on boys. I kind of feel like I told y'all everything that there is to tell y'all. Like it was a fun school, it was a fun experience. In the school, like there's this culture, they hate the school, but like isn't that school, like they will like hate the school but never leave. Like you've been there as long as I've been there, but you hate the school. It is that kind of culture of like, oh, it's an all boys school, there's no girls here. But it's like once you leave that school, you do recognize the brotherhood and the community of the school, and it was very important. The community and the relationships built in that school were very heavy and very like, you felt them. That experience in that school definitely did improve me in a lot of different ways. So I'm grateful for it. Like I said in my last video, like I had fun. I learned so much in that school, especially as a gay boy. I don't want to trash that school. I don't want to make it seem like everybody in the shit was homophobic, and because it wasn't like that. It really wasn't like that. I'm glad that I got to see that every guy isn't homophobic, especially every black man isn't homophobic. So yeah, that's really it. I hope you guys understood or like got better insight into my experience in that school. All boys schools, or even just all gender schools, they're kind of like jails. Like nobody knows what goes on inside of them except the people that go there. It's very weird. So I will not hold you guys any longer. I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion, chit chat, sit down, chop it up and talk. I'm Kyle Leminski. This has been Kyle Leminski TV. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all in the next video. Later!
Niggas swear they passed us, they doing too much. Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up. Virgil got a paddock on my wrist going nuts. Niggas caught me slipping once, okay, so what? Some